Hey you all! Today we are talking about separation anxiety, our video series number 3 in the anxiety series. I made a video in the evening and it didn't work out. The setting was amazing, the ambience was great, but the video wouldn't work because of the audio wouldn't work because of bad connection. So making this again, I am Rima Desai from the Guiding Star, coaching and helping women and children from around the world through my videos, through my one-on-one sessions on meditation, life coaching, and lots more. So in our anxiety series, we're talking about what really is separation anxiety. Why do some children cry to the wit's end when they are being dropped off at school or at a daycare and some don't? Well, we've all heard of the term separation anxiety, and we know what that means. We know that separation anxiety means that when a child is separating from their caregiver, most likely the mother or any other immediate caregiver, they feel like the world is ending and they just cannot come to par with the idea that their caregiver is going to be back for them. That's true, but I'm giving you a lot more information on this now. So separation anxiety is very common from the ages of 6 months onwards up to 2 years. That's the ideal developmental age when it's okay for the infant, the toddler to exhibit separation anxiety. That's because at that age, they don't have the concept of what I cannot see exists. So a 6-month baby up to a year to 2 years does not quite understand that when my mother leaves the room or when my mother drops me off, when she's off away from my sight, it means that she's still around. That factor of they're still around even though I cannot see them is that understanding is not there. And that's why they cry a lot. And that's normal developmentally. But beyond the age of 2 years to 2.5 years onwards, if the child still keeps feeling like they just cannot gather themselves up beyond 10-15 minutes of the parent leaving, then that is what we call a separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is excessive worry, fear, anxiety about a caregiver leaving a child, and developmentally it's not developmentally healthy or normal, as we say norm in psychology terms, for a child to exhibit that beyond the age of 2.5 years, and especially growing, the more the age, the higher the intensity of that separation anxiety. We call it chronic at a later age, at 4 years, 5 years, and that's chronic. That means the child really has an emotional problem over there. Separation anxiety has several factors, but it is ideally rooted. The root cause there is the most important factor is the attachment theory, is what we call in psychology, which is the kind of bonding that the mother and the child had at an early stage and continue to have. But especially the foundation is laid at the very early stages of since the child was born up to the first 2 years. Now, there are 4 kinds of attachment styles, one of which is very healthy. Healthy attachment is a secure attachment where the child knows and feels it innately, internally, at every moment, overall in general, that I can independently handle my own problems, but when I need my caregiver, they will be there for me. Or if they leave me, they're going to come back. That trust is there, that faith, that knowing, that sense of security is there. And the way the secure attachment is founded, the bonding, it really depends on the emotional state of the mom. It depends on the behavior choices, the parenting choices, the caregiver, not just the mom, but any caregiver has given. It depends on the house atmosphere, overall the home atmosphere, and any major life events that may have happened. So traumatic events at an early age can have a huge impact, of course. Postpartum depression of the mom can have a huge impact. The emotional state of the mom internally can have a huge impact. Right, so let me give you an example. I had a friend who was visiting me, and her 9 to 10-month-old son was crawling on the floor, fell down, bumped his head, and he cried. And she did not immediately get up to go soothe him. She let him gather himself up on his own. So he stopped crying. Then he came crawling, looking for her, and he looked at her, and then he made a sound to indicate that he needs her, that he needs the mom. And that's when she got up to hold him. And that is really a very good attachment or a parenting or bonding style, where the parent, even at an early age, is giving the infant the atmosphere to independently solve their problems, to gather themselves up, and not immediately going there to protect the child or being overly harsh and insensitive. So some of the insecure attachment styles are or in unhealthy attachment styles or insecure attachment styles. For example, if there is a lot of fear of losing the child, if there's overprotectiveness, if there's harshness, if the mom is emotionally or physically absent for the child, even emotionally absent, right? Overly critical, etc. But we will go into more details on separation anxiety, which can also be seen in adults. Separation anxiety can also be seen in adults, often an extension from childhood. We will go into solutions, etc., going forward in our next weekend video series. Since this is a series, I'm building on the videos one after the other. I want to keep the videos short. So this was a little bit on separation anxiety. Understanding what it is the first step before I can give you solutions. This is Rima Desai from The Guiding Star signing off. Thank you for listening. Feel free to ask me questions and share any personal experiences that you have in your parenting journey. Bye-bye.